The big story we're tracking from Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said that Canada will significantly reduce the number of new immigrants it allows into the country after acknowledging that his government has failed to get the balance right coming out of the pandemic. Now, while Canada has long prided itself as a place that welcomes new immigrants, public opinion in the country has recently soured on immigration, which has been blamed for reducing housing affordability. Canada is now set to bring in 3,95,000 new permanent residents in the year 2025, 3,80,000 new immigrants in 2026, and 3,65,000 new immigrants in 2027. That's down from 4,85,000 in 2024 in the first multi-year reduction since Ottawa started laying out multi-year immigration levels back in 2018. To understand the ramifications on ground zero, we have with us Daniel Boardman at the moment. As always, Daniel, thanks so much for making time for us. Some industry experts I've been speaking to in Canada argue that they were able to officially avoid a recession because of immigration. But Daniel, what have been some of the initial reactions to this major reversal in immigration policy on home ground?
Everyone's happy with the reduction, and vast majority of people say it's not enough. It should be even lower. And while it is technically true that immigration did save us from a recession, it made the country poorer by just increasing GDP, but it reduced GDP per capita. So Canada used to be a resource industry before Justin Trudeau. We have tons of oil, we have tons of natural gas, we have tons of lumber, and this is the backbone of our economy. When Justin Trudeau came in, this is, of course, to save the planet. We had to get rid of all of this. So Canada's new economy is now human trafficking and money laundering. We call this immigration and education. So many Indian students that I saw the segment you just did, and a lot is right in there. Many Indian students coming into Canada are not actually students, but they're victims of human trafficking. If you're going to a real Canadian university like McGill, U of T, UBC, then this doesn't apply to you. That's what most Indians think Canadian schools are. But in the Trudeau administration, we've had this boom of sort of fake schools, diploma mills.
Right.
So it's like a strip mall. There's a room inside a strip mall, like a place. There'll be 8 schools in that one classroom. They have one online course per week, and you pay $20,000 or 20 lakh to get into that. So Canada's now a human trafficking scheme, mostly from India, and you have criminal organizations on the Indian side and criminal organizations on the Canadian side working together with usually Khalistanis to bring people into the country. So with the criminal organizations, you can you get these families and whatever, you sell the dream of Canada, mostly to kids in the Punjab region, you bring them into Canada. These immigration consultants say, don't worry, you'll be able to stay in Canada indefinitely because we'll cheat the system. You sign something saying you're not allowed to leave, you'll go home after your education.
In fact, bad practices in this entire immigration exercise have been brought to the fore and are under investigation increasingly now. Daniel, we have been able to establish through opinion polls in Canada that a growing number of Canadians do think that Canada is bringing in too many immigrants, as you're highlighting. But are small business owners' heads spinning from this change, or overall it's being considered a positive sort of reversal in policy?
Well, overall, it's a positive. It's not small business owners. Major corporations are going to be mad because the Trudeau government has been subsidizing major corporations hiring foreign workers, and then it's even the exploitation of, again, these foreign workers increases because there's this thing called an LMIA, which is like a paper you get to say that the company couldn't find a Canadian citizen to fill the particular job you're doing. Right. So you'll find people getting LMIAs to work fast food jobs. And you can't really make the argument that there was no one willing to work a fast food job in the country. You had to hire an illegal immigrant. But again, a foreign worker. But foreign workers are subsidized, Canadians are not. And foreign workers are also exploited because these LMIA markets are now dark markets where they're forcing these foreign workers to, again, pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 just to get that LMIA. So you're going into further debt to get these jobs. So this is where criminal organizations come in. They can subsidize you. You want to get out of this student debt where you're living on a floor with 9 people in a room? Well, join a Khalistani gang, and then you can start doing highly lucrative criminal activity. As you play the thing, it's quite correct. They do encourage students to go in front of the embassies and the thing and wave Khalistan flags and threaten India, claim bogus asylum things. That's another 5K. You usually run yourself. So this is the system that's propped up Canada's economy for the last 10 years. It's exploiting people mostly from India, but other parts of the world, getting $20,000, $30,000 out of them, and then dumping them in hyperinflating the real estate market because you have, 10 students to one apartment, so you can sort of bump up the rent because you can charge like,
well, the government there says that these
unit.
measures are expected to result in a population decline of 0.2% in both the coming years of 2025 and 2026. But many are still questioning whether it's enough to bring down immigration levels to a permissible level and whether it's enough to reduce Canada's housing supply gap. Thanks so much, though, Daniel Boardman, as always, for joining us on NDTV.